We often look up to the stars for answers, but we are suggesting you might look down for a change. We are handing you a terrestrial telescope and inviting you to go ground gazing with us. What do you see? Cropped plants, ink spots of water, open mounds of tufted earth. Dive deeper, there is a world beneath. A festival of exchange, a body that brings balance. Peatlands are rich constellations where we can discover ancient histories, cultural heritage, and essential ecosystems. Their wisdom can help us to learn more about the world we live in and how to make it a better place together. Hi and welcome to Small Giants, the 6th episode in a Bogcast series made for Peat-Fest Southwest. In this episode, the sun sets, transforming the intoxicating effect of a sunny day into sober half-light reflection. Moss bears witness to the eons. It knew a world in water, then the eruption of life on Earth. It has seen many extinction events, the end of dinosaurs, and the flourishing of a small four-legged creature. Moss remained while one such creature busied its front legs, moulding and manipulating the earth, making it harder for moss to live. Moss remained in the cracks, the gaps in their dominion. On the edge of their influence, moss stays, hidden below in layers of peat, becoming the Earth's memory. This episode will look at the climate crisis and our role and responsibility as small but significant parts of our planet's history. We will think about eco-anxiety and how it might be tackled by staying connected with each other and our environment, and looking to small life forms found on peatlands for guidance.
If you could talk to me about how you feel about the climate emergency.
I'm terrified for our, doom. I'm very angry with a lot of people for, one, thinking that it's not a thing, just so they can get money, and two, not even thinking about it. Yeah, I'm also pretty angry how for so long people are just dismissing it and just, I guess it's a thing, but there's not much we can do. But even though there is loads we can do.
Do you feel worried about the climate and
Yes,
stuff? You do?
I do.
You feel
Very concerned. And I think everybody should really. I know there's a lot of people that don't, but we have a big issue and we should find reasons to stop wasting materials, natural materials, recycle everything, make do and mend. I even would go to the extreme of having rations back like there was after the Second World War.
I started feeling generalised climate anxiety probably all the way back from when I was really a little kid and found out about the hole in the ozone layer and found myself quite worried about that. And then I think, as you experience life, you have various different feelings about the future and about the world that we live in. And it can take all sorts of different forms, it could be anger, or it could be fear, or it could feel like being paralysed, or now I've learned some words around it, but back then you just had feelings about the way that the world is.
Ebbs and flows. I think sometimes when you're sat in a lecture and everything seems, and you're seeing the realities of things, and I've been doing a lot of looking into conservation, like I'm appraising conservation projects at the moment, and it sometimes makes you feel a bit less hopeful of like, oh, we really hope by this time we'll have like 30% of the world's ecosystems conserved, and I'm like, 30% of land and ocean, and we're hoping that we can do that, and sometimes it just breaks your heart a little bit, but then you have to remember that's better than nothing.
Lots of people talk about young people solving everything, and I've heard you boys talk about how frustrating it is that people don't act themselves and they say young people are going to do it. Tell me about how you feel about that.
They caused it, so they got to prevent it.
Yeah, I think if if the old people don't do anything about it, we will look at them when the world is all destroyed and think, what a disgrace they were.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the only world we have. It's not like, oh yeah, we're just gonna colonize Mars. That's probably not even gonna happen within the first, not even gonna happen within our lifetime. So why not just care about what we have on this world?
I think that the people who've been saying that need to take a good look at themselves and realise how bad it really is.
Yeah, that was Holt Heath back a couple of months ago, the one in across at Wimborne. I just happened to be working there on a Saturday morning. I turned around and I saw these sort of 50-foot flames coming up over the trees. And in the end, about 90 hectares of heathland got burnt to the ground. So that was pretty terrifying.
So as a contractor working to repair the peatlands and the heaths, improve the biodiversity, you just get a bit gutted by that.
Fire has been a technique used for managing the heathlands, but it's when it's started deliberately without those control measures in place, that's when it becomes a problem. Because obviously, if we were to do a controlled burn, we've factored in the ecology impact, what ecology is there, whether it's, some of our rare native species, whether it's, which direction the wind's blowing, all those sorts of things. And on a Friday night, the fire was started, put out, reignited itself on the Saturday morning, and then had the opportunity to actually walk across the burnt heath afterwards to find, probably counted 12 reptiles and birds that didn't sadly make it. That's a pretty horrible thing to witness, truth be told. As a big reptile lover as well, I've always been very much into the snakes and things like that, and it was pretty sad to see.
So the sun sends the power to the solar panel, which goes through a controller, which from the controller goes to the battery, which charges the battery. Then from the battery, it charges the Arduino, which senses for a connection when there is a connection. The relay makes it smaller or bigger, and it also lights up.
Wow. I find that when feeling anxious about the climate emergency, it can help to find points of connection with the world around me, to feel like part of something bigger instead of shouldering problems alone. Finding other people who share your feelings can provide support and sustain hope, while venturing into beautiful peaty landscapes can also be an extraordinary salve. The inconceivable vastness of a peat bog can help you find the peace and strength you need to approach such big problems.
The pizzas went, so there must have been 40 or 50 people eating, and then all the hangers-oners around in their different places.
And I quite like that. I like the idea that you brought people from different parts of the peatland world together as well.
Okay, so so this is a solar panel. Then you stick a big bit of like sticky back plastic on it. You draw on the design or the words that you want, and with a really sharp, like craft knife, you cut away the bits of plastic that you want to be sandblasted, which give it that how would you call that? That kind of rough texture.
Yeah, and
When
different tonal difference.
That's right. This is the first one we've done with words.
What are they saying?
So when we are smart, we can handle complexity. What I was going to say, we can sense wonder in complexity. We are all connected. That's the name of the artwork.
So it's all about making a connection and what comes out of that.
Art and Energy has been working with an organisation called the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, and this is an organisation that works worldwide on all sorts of nature projects. And these guys have created this virtual peatland pavilion. Within it, there's a way of visiting and opening doors to projects going on all over the world, from arts projects like ours, we're in it in this pavilion, but also conservation of swampy mangrove forests or peatlands across some grasslands in Europe. The work that IUCN have been doing on the peatland programme and the pavilion is replicated in a way in the southwest with Art and Energy, with us, working with partners from Dorset to Cornwall to Dartmoor, Exmoor in Somerset, where each of those places has a different type of peatland, but all equally important.
Can't see a lunar eclipse, but the idea was that we would, I don't know, maybe it would make us feel something.
The potential of seeing a lunar eclipse today is like a reminder that the world has a kind of like ancientness and rhythm that is like so big that we can't really even comprehend it. I mean, this is maybe a bit left field, but like ecotourism is something where people, travel the world to kind of experience great climatic events or like geographical beauties or whatever. But maybe not being able to see the lunar eclipse is kind of a nice reminder that we're not entitled to being able to just see whatever we want of the world whenever we want it.
Yeah.
And that actually sometimes it's cloudy. And then you can't see the lunar eclipse. And that's maybe, I don't know, it's maybe a reminder that, is that something? Is that the moon?
Oh my God.
Behind the cloud.
That
was a little peep.
For a second.
It was nice.
That was nice.
But she's not on demand, Mother Nature, is what I'm saying.
What I'm doing at the moment is like, maybe I can't fix the massive big problems we have, but I can push forward these tiny little bits of biodiversity, and I think that definitely makes me feel more hopeful of like, look what we can find even in this like really obscure place that most people would walk by and not even look. Because most people aren't going to look at some tiny little bit of moss found around a drain, and they're not going to think, wow, what a community in there. But this little bit of moss is from the drain. It's brilliant, isn't it? Just like then what you can find in these places that most people would walk past, and it makes you feel a bit like, if they can survive in these really strange places, then I think tardigrades have gone through something like they've survived 5 different extinctions. So
we need to find ways to remain resilient in the face of the climate emergency. Tardigrades are tiny creatures living in moss that have withstood eons of climatic change and found ways of adapting. As far as we know, tardigrades are the most resilient animal on the planet. They have survived radiation, air deprivation, starvation, dehydration, and even the conditions of space. We can learn a lot from this animal, and they can be a great metaphor for remaining resilient in the face of adversity.
How do you help yourself feel better when you're feeling angry and sad?
Listen to Rage Against the Machine.
Listen to Rage Against the Machine.
I sometimes exercise.
Oh, I do make a lot of music.
Yeah.
You can get lost in art like you can in nature, and that helps immensely. To stop the worry about it, because after all, we still have to live our lives best we can without hurting anything else if it's possible.
How do you find ways of overcoming feelings of angst about big problems?
Well, sometimes I just need to go and find a little piece of chocolate and eat that to make myself feel less anxious. And other times I think, right, let's just make a difference locally. Let's just support a community in looking after its bit of peat near where it lives and where they live. Sometimes I just think about all the thousands of people who are working to make the world better. Well, millions of people who are working to make the world better, and then my anxiety disappears.
Tell me about your favourite parts of Dartmoor.
Wistman's Wood.
Just everything. Rivers, like the River Dart. Yeah, I love all the rocks. Me and Hector like climbing in between the crevices and stuff.
Kind of loneliness, but in like a good loneliness.
A nice loneliness. Just there's barely anyone there, and it's kind of a nice place to realise that the world isn't so horrible. It's that not everywhere has to be massive built-up cities. It can be beautiful, more beautiful, I believe.
If there was anything I could say to Dartmoor, I think I'd probably say keep being cool, because Dartmoor's cool.
We have reached the end of Small Giants, our 6th Bogcast episode. Thank you for coming ground gazing with us and discovering the wonderful world beneath. We look forward to seeing you next time for our final episode, where we will reveal a peatland manifesto made by the many voices in our ever-growing peatland community. Special thanks to Hector and Felix Uden for their contribution to this podcast. We feel privileged to have been able to make this podcast with funding from the Heritage Lottery Fund. Special thanks to everyone who spoke to us and helped make this happen, to the Art and Energy Collective and Repeat, to all the other wonderful organisations involved, including Southwest Peatland Partnership, Dorset Peatland Partnership, the Avalon Marshes Partnership, the National Trust, RSPB, Wildlife Trusts, Dartmoor and Exmoor National Parks, Planet Purbeck, Cornwall National Landscape Team, and thank you to Otis Jordan for the beautiful music you heard. And of course, to you for listening.